Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
You're listening to TFG Cricket.
Hello and welcome everyone. Well, yeah, this is me, Saju, and I'm not. No. Nikhil is not trying to imitate my voice. No, that's not the case. Yes, we are taking turns. Sometimes I do cricket, sometimes he does football. That's how things go. He's pretty unwell, so you can tweet to him asking how is he doing, and tell him to get back soon on the show. Now today Fantasy is the show, and Vivek is all ready with his fantasy cape to talk about, well, of course, the Big Bash. And before we start talking, Vivek, is the Big Bash living up to its name this season?
Yes, very much. Like we expected, like we have seen in the previous seasons, this has been another successful league, another successful tournament, crowd, action, again, very, very clean tournament, no controversies. It's been a wonderful ride thus far. We still have about 2.5 weeks to go.
Yep.
I'm expecting more and more because we'll soon reach the business end. And as far as fantasy cricket is concerned, after the initial stutter, we have been doing wonderfully well.
Great.
And yesterday's team was one of the best, I think, for the season because in our office, 4 people played and everybody ended up winning and
Great.
all were number 1.
Great news,
So,
great news.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we are all about, right? The fantasy pundits are here to give you. And as usual, we will follow that rule. Today we talk about Perth Scorchers play Brisbane Heat.
That's
now,
correct.
Both the teams are in a bit of fix because both are missing key players. Perth will miss Marsh and Brisbane.
That is Mitchell Marsh.
And
Yes.
Brisbane on the other hand, Brisbane Heat on the other hand will miss Chris Lynn.
Correct.
And both called up for national duty. Well, both played key role in their last matches. So how do you see this, Vivek?
Big loss, Siju, both Mitchell Marsh and Chris Lynn. Chris Lynn more so because he has been arguably the best batsman of the tournament.
Yeah.
Some of the hitting that we have seen in this league has been second to none. And huge monster hits. You remember one we were watching in the office. And it was only logical and it was just a matter of time before Lynn got a Australian call-up,
Yes.
The selectors were watching. And although they are playing against Pakistan, I don't see Pakistan as a big threat to the Australians. But still you want to pick form players.
Yeah.
And that's why Chris Lynn has been drafted in. And so is the case with Mitchell Marsh. Mitchell Marsh has been doing wonderfully well with both bat and ball for the Perth Scorchers. Batting at number 4, bowling about 2 to 3 overs, taking wickets, fielding well. So complete package. So it's a huge loss. What this does is it certainly disturbs the team combination. It disturbs the balance. And there is never a like-for-like replacement, Siju, in my opinion. It's very, very difficult. If you see, I think Tim Bresnan is in, the English all-rounder. I don't see him as a ideal replacement for Mitchell Marsh. And as far as Chris Lynn is concerned, boss, there is absolutely nobody who can fill his shoes at this point in time. But that's how the game works. At the end of the day, all these leagues, whatever cricket you play, it's more of a factory. You know, the ultimate showroom is the national team, and that's how it is. And you really can't say no. Obviously, the franchisees will be a little shattered, but you have to move on.
But as a player, you would love to play for the national team, right? That's the ultimate dream.
This is not a problem for the players because at the end of the day, when they start holding a cricket bat or a ball, that's what they dream. That's what they dream of. That's what they want to do. Franchisee, again, at the end of the day, you are affiliated with respective cricket associations and countries, and your duty, your job is to provide the cream players to the country.
Right. Well, part and parcel of the game, right? Somebody's loss is another person's gain.
Yeah.
Now, Perth is also, under pressure for, missing a lot of players due to injury. Voges and Murrayhead, both out for hamstring and thumb injury. So how do you see that playing around?
Voges has been out of the team for a while now, so I don't think that's going to affect Perth a lot.
Okay.
I think the biggest one more big blow could be David Willey. Willey, we saw him play yesterday against India in the practice game, so he's here. Along with him, a lot of English blokes are here who have been a part of the Big Bash, owing to which I think that was one of the major reasons why we got thrashed.
Yep.
And I'll come to that a little later. But David Willey, who opened the bowling, who was a genuine wicket taker, was a bit of a floater in the batting order also. So it's never easy. You have to look for replacements. And in my opinion, if you look at both teams, Siju, as compared to Brisbane Heat, I think Perth Scorchers are a little bit better. And we saw Brisbane Heat dominate Scorchers last time they played. And this is going to be the reverse clash in Brisbane.
Yeah.
I somehow favor the Scorchers this evening.
Okay.
The reason I say that is Chris Lynn. Chris Lynn he's a Virat Kohli for Brisbane Heat. I'm not comparing the two, but what I'm saying is the value that he brings.
Exactly.
So if you take out such a huge player, suddenly the confidence can go down and the opposition will also start attacking you. I don't know if Brendan McCullum is going to respond. If he does, wonderful for everybody. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, now Brisbane also welcomed Tymel Mills. He's replacing Badri, who's out again for hamstring. A lot of injuries happening in Big Bash. I mean, not only Big Bash, we've seen around the, wherever these T20 leagues happen. Is it because, too much of action happening?
Yes.
And too much of pressure?
Yeah, I think so. Too much of action. At the end of the day, it's a human body.
Yeah.
The more you play, the more wear and tear on the body.
Right.
So it's understandable. Badri, again, has been a revelation for the Brisbane Heat in the Big Bash. He has been a leading wicket taker. He operates in the power play with the new ball, gets wickets regularly, puts the opposition on the back foot. He's going to be surely missed. But there is a wonderful replacement. Local boy Swepson has been doing wonderfully well. The Australian selectors will have an eye on him. He's been taking wickets regularly after the power play. So it's a good replacement. But as I say, you cannot replace an international cricketer with a domestic cricketer. It's very, very difficult. And that's where I feel, balance. If you look at, there are a few all-rounders. For example, there is Ben Cutting in the team. There is Wildermuth in the team. So these guys have stepped up. They have, they have taken the responsibility. And that's where again I feel Brisbane Heat will have more to offer. But again, Perth Scorchers, because of the extra, I think the nice blend of youth and experience. And you look at the match winners. There is Sean Marsh, there is Michael Klinger, there is Ian Bell, there is Mitchell Johnson.
Yeah.
So many of them. So slight edge, surely.
Yeah, well, you heard the pundit giving a slight edge to the Perth Scorchers this time around. Well, let's hear what he has to say and who he picks in his fantasy team.
Yeah, it's not a very complicated round because once you know who's playing and who's not, and obviously you take out two big players, the budget also is not a big constraint.
Right.
And that's where we have picked up a very simple lineup: Michael Klinger, Brendan McCullum, Ashton Turner, Sean Marsh, and Alex Ross as a 5 batsmen, and 2 all-rounders, like I said, Ben Cutting and Jack Wildermuth. Talk about bowlers: Andrew Tye, Swepson and Mitchell Johnson, because if you look at some numbers, you will know that Andrew Tye has been right up there. Mitchell Johnson, obviously, on the Gabba wicket with his pace and bounce, he's going to be quite a handful for the batsman. And Swepson, like I said, the leg spinner, very cheeky, understands where to bowl, how to bowl, and I think he anticipates, wicket. And I think that's one great quality that this young leg spinner has. Keeper, obviously, is Jamie Pearson. Will open the innings with Brendan McCullum. And we'll go with Michael Klinger and Brendan McCullum as the captain and vice captain. Although I have a feeling, I said this last time also, that Sean Marsh is going to come to the party. He's already started timing the ball well. He's finding gaps. And, we keep repeating the same thing. Great players don't fail often. And I feel today he's going to seize the opportunity and Again, he could be the driving factor behind Brisbane Heat's loss.
Great. Listeners out there, I hope you've made great points and pointers out there, because you know what we give you. We give you the best team that we can afford.
Yeah.
And out there, if it's just your day, you are going to win it, right?
Absolutely.
And all you have to do is follow us. We are on Twitter. TFG Fantasy Pundit is our handle. We also have a Facebook page called Fantasy Pundit, but we are not done yet because we have double dose of fantasy for you. In case you don't do well in that, you can do well here, or maybe just like I said, if it's your day, you can win in both the times, right? Both the times, a big win. And the other one is New Zealand. It's a test match, longer format of the cricket. New Zealand versus Bangladesh are playing a 2-test series, and a little slight edge for New Zealand here. Not a slight edge. They are the favourites. Bangladesh have already lost the ODIs and T20s, and they're again under pressure here because Murtaza is out of the series.
Yes. They have not only lost the series, I think they have been humiliated.
Yeah.
They have lost 3-0 ODIs, 3-0 T20s. So you talk about an edge. I think it's an overwhelming edge. It's huge, because 6-0, it's quite a drubbing.
This might be an 8-0 then.
Surely. I see no reason why New Zealand will not whitewash Bangladesh in the tests also. Because, look, number one, Bangladesh's favourite format is not Test cricket.
Yeah.
They can say they beat England, they beat some other teams in Bangladesh, but that's Bangladesh. You play in New Zealand. We just found out a month ago how Pakistan were trounced.
Right.
Similar thing will happen to Bangladesh. And given the conditions, I just saw the pitch. It's green. It's like you're sitting on a grass bank. That's how it is. And you look at the conditions. It's overcast. It's cold. It's chilly. It's breezy. Also, these are typical conditions that players from the subcontinent dislike. You just don't want to be out on the park. You just want to be inside a cozy room with your shawl, with some tomato soup or coffee. And Bangladesh, no disrespect, no offense to them, but the way they carry themselves on the field, I think they are going to be completely slaughtered in all these 2 test matches. And I think the Kiwi bowling will come into party, and that's where we feel the Pacers, Neil Wagner, Tim Southee, Trent Bolt, they have to be, I think it's a compulsion. They should be in your fantasy cricket teams. Limit Bangladesh players to 4, and those 4, I think one Pacer, somebody like a Mustafizur Rahman or Taskin Ahmed should be one. Talk about all-rounders, Mahmudullah, Shakib Al Hassan. Otherwise, whom do you pick? I am not a big fan of Tamim Iqbal, Imrul Qais, these guys. I'm not too sure about the ability to handle top-class pace, swing and seam bowling. And that's exactly what these 3, like I said, Wagner, Southee, Bolt will present. Talk about New Zealand batsmen, obviously Kane Williamson, Jeet Rawal and Tom Latham. And the reason I picked these 3 is because they will bat 1, 2, 3. And it is unlikely New Zealand will expect runs from 4, 5, 6. And if they do, shame on them. And so, that's the way I see the test match panning out. In fact, the whole series, because of which we have constructed a one-sided fantasy cricket team. I've already given you the picks. And captain, I think we'll give you 3 because we still have under, I think, about 15, 16 hours for the match to start. It's going to start somewhere 3:30, 4 o'clock Indian time morning. So we'll give you 3 options. You can play around. It's Tim Southee, Trent Bolt and Kane Williamson. You can toss around, play around as vice captains. But if you're thinking elsewhere, if you're thinking to do something out of the box, I think that is going to backfire. It's very simple. What does Bangladesh not like? Exactly pick that team, and I think that will keep your fantasy cricket teams in good stead. It's a very simple logic. You don't have to create anything out of the ordinary.
No complex situations out there, because
it's very straightforward. It's very straightforward. We did the same thing against Pakistan also, and we carried the same strategy during the Australia-Pakistan Test match series also. So nothing different at all.
And if you're following in cricket, you would definitely know the way situation that Bangladesh is in, and they're playing out. They're not playing at home this time.
Yes.
So expect the 0 to be 0 even at the end of both the test matches, and if they don't, just like Vivek said, shame on New Zealand.
yes.
Well, moving on, that's all guys, and this is the double dose that we had to give you for fantasy. As I said, you can get in touch with us. TFG Fantasy 11 is our Twitter handle. We're also on Facebook as Fantasy Pundit. Now you're listening to us on YouTube, so all you have to do is go like, share and subscribe. Hit on the bell icon so you get your
daily
updates,
dose.
Daily updates of our new episodes coming out. Have a great day, folks. And
before we wrap up, I would like to announce here that we'll be doing the T20 tournament in the UAE, and this is going to be played by all the minnows: Ireland, Namibia, Kenya, Afghanistan, Scotland, Hong Kong. All these small nations will be playing. It's a T20 tournament. It's a 1-week tournament. We'll have 2 to 3 matches per day. Nobody else is doing it. We'll be doing it extensively. So all the more
reasons for you to get onto our show, get onto YouTube and hit those 3 and do those 3 things that we ask you to do, right? And if you don't, you will miss. You are at loss, my friends.
Absolutely.
And just like we say always, do let us know what you think about it. If you want to talk to Vivek personally, you can do that as well. He's on Twitter as Krishnan Viv. Nikhil will be back on the show. Not worry. You can tweet to him at 42 Nikhil. Have a great day, folks. Cheers.
Our podcasts bring all the boys to the yard, and damn right, they're better than yours. But you don't need to stand outside in the yard. Just follow IVM Podcasts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We might be on Tinder too. Just go ahead and swipe right.